Every single day is an opportunity, a chance to take one step closer to the life you want. Yet how often do we let the noise of excuses, fear, and uncertainty stop us? We all have dreams, but the real question is, are we truly living with purpose or just letting time pass us by? Today is the day to change that. It's time to stop letting life slip through your fingers. It's time to stop telling yourself you're not ready, or that you don't have what it takes. The truth is, you already have everything you need to start moving forward. The only thing standing in your way is you. If you want to create the life you've always dreamed of, it starts now. Take action today. Embrace discomfort and make the most of every moment. You have the power. Don't waste another second. Let's dive in. Number 1. Break every excuse that holds your life back. The greatest danger is excuses. The quiet permission we give ourselves to do nothing when everything inside us knows we should move. It's the voice that says, "I can't," before we've even tried. It's the habit of holding back our best because we're afraid it might not be good enough. Excuses are invisible chains, and most people live their entire lives bound by them without ever knowing it. Excuses start small. They sound reasonable. I'm tired. I don't have time. It's not the right moment. But over time, they grow. They become your story. And once your mind accepts a story, it builds a life around it. That's how people waste years. Not in one big moment, but day by day, letting excuses win. That's how you wake up one morning with regret. You realize you've been negotiating with your dreams instead of chasing them. You realize you've been choosing comfort over progress. That's a hard thing to admit, but it's necessary. The truth is, no one is going to break those excuses for you. No one is going to come into your life and push you out of the cage you've built in your head. That's your job. And it begins the moment you say, "I've had enough. Enough waiting. Enough overthinking. Enough doubting." Because when you're tired of wasting time, when you're done letting fear and delay make your decisions, that's when change begins. Now I want you to stop and really think, how many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? How many times have you pulled back from something you wanted because it was too hard or too uncertain? Those aren't just missed chances. Those are pieces of your life you can never get back. Time doesn't stop to wait for us. It moves forward with or without our permission. That's why you have to stop giving it away so easily. Every time you choose an excuse over effort, you're giving away a part of your future. And every time you choose to act despite fear, you're building something real. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. What you need is honesty. You need to look at your life and say, "What am I allowing? That's keeping me small." It could be a story you've been repeating for years. Maybe someone told you once that you weren't good enough, and you believed them. Maybe life knocked you down and you decided not to get up. Maybe you failed, and now you're afraid to try again. But none of that defines who you are. What defines you is what you choose to do next. There is something powerful about a person who decides to break free. You can see it in their eyes. They're done waiting, done blaming, done apologizing for wanting more. They've reached the point where staying the same hurts more than changing. And that's when life starts to open up. That's when opportunities appear. Not because the world suddenly got easier, but because you stopped holding yourself back. You were not born to waste your life. You were born to grow, to contribute, to create, to rise. And yet none of that can happen while you're still making space for excuses. So today ask yourself, what excuse do I need to break? What fear do I need to face? What lie have I been telling myself that needs to end? If you want to live fully, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to be okay with failing, learning, adjusting, and trying again. That's not weakness. That's how strength is built. Excuses make you soft. Action makes you sharp. The people who live meaningful lives aren't the ones who waited for the perfect moment. They're the ones who acted anyway. They moved forward while it was messy. They did what they could with what they had. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about freedom. It's the key that unlocks everything you say you want. Without discipline, excuses run your life. And when excuses run your life, you live a version of it that's far below your potential. It's not that you don't have what it takes. It's that you haven't demanded it from yourself yet. And maybe no one around you is demanding it either. That's okay, because this is your life. You don't need applause to become better. You just need a decision. The moment you stop entertaining excuses, everything changes. Your confidence grows. Your clarity sharpens. You stop wasting time trying to convince others. You start building. You start doing. You start becoming the person you always knew you could be. And that's where life gets exciting. Not because it's easy, but because it's real. So today, look at your life and call yourself out. Not in shame, but in power. Say, I'm better than the reasons I've used to delay. Say, I'm no longer available for excuses. Because once you say that, and you mean it, you take back your time. You take back your voice. You take back your future. It's not too late. No matter how much time you think you've lost, the truth is your best years are not behind you. They're still possible. But only if you stop wasting your life in the waiting room. The world doesn't owe you a second chance, but you can give one to yourself. You can break every excuse that's been holding your life back, and you can start today. You don't need more time. You need more courage. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a clear reason. And if that reason is strong enough, excuses won't stand a chance. Choose to stop wasting your life. Choose to show up. Choose to take action. No one can do it for you. But once you decide, no one can stop you. Number 2. Fight every day to become your greatest self. Most people live as a fraction of who they could be. They settle. They adjust. They lower the volume on their dreams to fit into a life that demands little and rewards even less. But somewhere deep down, there's a voice. A quiet voice that says you were made for more. Not more comfort. Not more approval. More of asterisk. You asterisk. The real you. The strongest you. The version of you that doesn't flinch when life gets tough. The version that doesn't give in when things feel heavy. That version exists, but you have to fight for it every single day. Becoming your greatest self is not a one-time decision. It's not a moment of motivation or a weekend of inspiration. It's a daily battle. A test of your choices. A fight against everything that wants you to stay the same. And it's hard. It's uncomfortable. It demands consistency even when no one's watching. But it's the only way to live without regret. You don't become strong by wishing for it. You become strong by showing up when you don't feel like it. By doing the work when it's easier not to. By choosing discipline over ease and growth over comfort. That's what separates the few who rise from the many who stay stuck. The ones who push through resistance build a life they're proud of. The ones who wait for the right feeling stay in the same place year after year. You're not born with greatness. You build it. And it's built in small choices repeated day after day. It's built when you wake up early, even when you're tired. It's built when you study, train, create, and learn when no one is there to clap for you. It's built when you say no to short-term pleasure, so you can create long-term fulfillment. That's the path. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. But it's worth everything. There are people who will never know who they could have become because they gave up too early. They stopped fighting when it got tough. They convinced themselves that average was good enough. But you don't have to live that way. You have the chance to step up. You have the chance to fight for your potential. That doesn't mean you won't feel fear. That doesn't mean you won't fail, but it means you keep moving anyway. Every day is a new chance to choose progress over excuses. Every morning you wake up, you face a decision. Will you go through the motions, or will you move with intention? Will you protect your comfort zone, or will you push the edges of it? Will you act from your weakness, or from your strength? These aren't just surface choices. These are the decisions that shape your character. And character is what makes the difference when life hits hard. You will be tested. Life will challenge you. It will ask you to prove how much you really want it. That's not cruelty. That's preparation. You grow through the struggle. You build endurance through the effort. Every time you keep going when most would quit, you add something to yourself. You add grit. You add confidence. You add discipline. And all of that builds the foundation of your greatest self. Stop looking for easy days. Start asking for stronger habits. Stop waiting for motivation. Start relying on commitment. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control how you show up. You can control how hard you work. You can control your attitude. You can control whether or not you give your best effort. That's where your power is. Not in circumstances, but in how you respond to them. Your greatest self is not found in comfort. It's found in challenge. It's found in moments where you feel like quitting, but choose to continue. It's found in the way you hold yourself accountable. It's in the choices you make when no one's keeping score. That's when growth happens. That's when you start to build a life that reflects what you're truly capable of. You have to stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Believe in yourself. Back yourself. Train yourself to stop needing outside permission to chase something meaningful. Give yourself the green light. Decide that your future is worth the struggle, because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. You have to fight for it. There will be days when you feel behind. Days when the goal looks too far away. Days when you question your ability. That's normal. But don't stop. Don't give your doubts more power than your discipline. Keep moving. Keep learning. Keep showing up with everything you've got. Because the truth is, the more consistent you are, the more momentum you create. And momentum is how ordinary people build extraordinary lives. Every hour you invest in your growth pays off. Every sacrifice you make to stay focused strengthens your future. Every time you stretch yourself past your limits, you create a new standard. And that's how you rise. Not by magic, not by chance, by daily effort backed by vision. You already have what it takes, but you have to activate it. That means pushing yourself in moments where it feels easier to stop. That means showing up when no one claps. That means giving more when your mind tells you to rest. The difference between who you are and who you could be lies in what you're willing to do consistently. If you want to look back years from now and feel proud, then fight now. Fight for growth. Fight for discipline. Fight for excellence. You won't always feel like it. You won't always get it right. But if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing the path that stretches you, you will change. The world doesn't need more people coasting through life. It needs more people who fight for their best. More people who show others what it looks like to keep going when it's hard. More people who turn pain into purpose and setbacks into comebacks. That can be you, but only if you make the decision to rise above excuses and do the work every day. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming honest. Honest about where you are. Honest about what you want. And honest about what it's going to take to get there. It takes work. It takes patience. It takes resilience. But the reward is becoming someone you truly respect. Someone who didn't fold under pressure. Someone who didn't give up when things got hard. Number 3. Destroy comfort that keeps you from real growth. There is something dangerous about comfort. It feels good. It gives you a sense of peace, but it quietly steals your potential. Most people don't even notice it happening. One day, they stop pushing themselves. They stop learning. They stop trying new things. And before they know it, years have passed and they haven't moved forward. Their dreams faded. Their energy dropped. Their hunger disappeared. All because they stayed comfortable. Comfort is not your friend. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It gives you an easy way out. It tells you that what you have is enough. Even when deep down you know you're capable of so much more. The life you want. The strength you need. The success you dream about. None of that exists in comfort. It exists on the other side of challenge. And the only way to get there is to destroy what keeps you soft and still. Look at your habits. Look at your routine. If you're not being challenged, you're not growing. If you're not doing something every day that stretches your limits, then you're slowly settling. That's how most people lose themselves. Not in chaos, but in routine. They do the same things every day. They avoid pain. They avoid pressure. They avoid failure. And in doing so, they avoid progress. You can't have growth and comfort in the same place. You have to pick one. And the truth is, growth hurts. It demands effort. It takes courage to leave the familiar. But that's where your power lives. Not in staying the same, but in becoming someone new. Someone sharper. Someone stronger. Someone who doesn't back down when life gets hard. You were not built to live the same year over and over. You were made to evolve, to rise, to sharpen your mind, to strengthen your character. But that only happens when you confront your comfort. When you look at the parts of your life that feel easy and ask yourself, is this helping me grow? Or is this keeping me stuck? Most people wait for motivation. They wait for the right moment. But you don't need more time. You need more discomfort. You need to break the cycle of doing what's easy. Easy never made anyone great. Easy never changed the world. Easy doesn't build resilience. Only challenge can do that. Only discipline can do that. And that means doing what you don't want to do when you least feel like doing it. Every time you take the easy way, you lose momentum. Every time you delay action because it feels uncomfortable, you reinforce weakness. But every time you step into what you fear, every time you lean into difficulty, you take back control. You prove to yourself that your growth matters more than your comfort. You have to be willing to trade temporary ease for long-term purpose. You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to accept being tired, being rejected, being challenged. That's how people grow, not by reading about it, but by living it, by facing what scares them, by doing what most avoid. And every time you choose growth, your life expands. It's easy to fall into routines that require little from you. But that's not where greatness is. That's not where fulfillment is. You want to feel alive? Then get uncomfortable. Start waking up earlier. Start speaking up when you usually stay silent. Start putting effort into your physical, emotional, and mental growth. Stop waiting to feel ready. You'll never feel ready. But you don't need permission. You need action. Destroy the comfort that says you've done enough. Destroy the comfort that tells you it's okay to slow down when you haven't earned rest. Destroy the comfort that keeps you in relationships, jobs, and environments that drain your spirit. Life is too short to settle for average. And you weren't born to be average. You were born to push past limits. You were born to evolve. Nothing about growth is convenient. It will pull you out of your routine. It will ask you to let go of what's familiar. But in return, it gives you something more valuable than anything comfort could ever offer. It gives you self-respect. It gives you a new identity. It gives you a life that means something. You don't need more chances. You need more courage. The courage to leave your comfort behind. The courage to fail. The courage to stand alone if that's what it takes to grow. The world doesn't need more people who play it safe. It needs people who are willing to burn the bridges to their old selves and move forward with conviction. Comfort will keep you quiet. Growth will teach you to speak up. Comfort will keep you still. Growth will teach you to move. Comfort will give you a routine. Growth will give you a mission. Choose wisely. Every time you feel resistance, move toward it. That's where the lesson is. That's where the new level of you is waiting. Most people run from discomfort. But discomfort is where life begins. It's where your old limits break. It's where you realize you are far more capable than you ever believed. Discipline starts with small steps. It starts with doing what's hard, when no one is watching. It starts with cutting out what no longer serves you. Comfort often hides behind excuses. I need rest. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not ready. But those aren't facts. Those are habits. And the only way to break those habits is to act before you feel like it. Growth is not a reward. It's a result. A result of the pain you're willing to endure. A result of the limits you're willing to challenge. A result of the comfort you're willing to destroy. You don't just wake up one day as your best self. You build that person, day by day, choice by choice. If you want a life that makes you proud, a life that fills you with purpose, then stop holding on to the version of you that refuses to grow. Stop clinging to routines that keep you average. Start building habits that demand more from you. Start surrounding yourself with people who call you higher. Make your daily choices match your long-term vision. You don't need to change everything overnight, but you do need to stop defending your comfort. You need to be honest about what's no longer helping you grow, and you need to act on that honesty. Real growth isn't complicated. It's hard, but it's simple. Get uncomfortable. Stay consistent. Show up when it's easier to check out, and do it again tomorrow. You are capable of more. but you will never see it as long as you stay where it's safe. So destroy the comfort, burn the excuse, push through the resistance. Step forward even when it feels heavy. Because once you do, you will become someone new, someone stronger, clearer, and more powerful than ever before. Number 4. Use your pain to fuel your daily mission. Pain is not just something you survive. It's something you can use. Most people try to run from it. They try to bury it, distract from it, avoid it. But when you do that, pain doesn't go away. It waits. It sits there, quietly shaping your choices and keeping you from moving forward. But if you face it, if you stop resisting it and start using it, that pain can become the very thing that fuels your drive to build a life you're proud of. Everyone has pain. Some carry it from childhood, some from failure, some from being judged, rejected, overlooked, some from personal loss. Whatever form it takes, it leaves a mark. But here's the difference. Some people let that mark hold them down, and others use it to push themselves forward. They take what hurt them and turn it into a reason to grow, a reason to work harder, a reason to never settle. You don't have to pretend it didn't happen. You don't have to ignore what you felt, but you do have to decide what you're going to do with it now. Because pain, when used right, becomes fuel. It sharpens you. It toughens you. It gives your mission meaning. When you've been through something real, you no longer want to waste time. You don't want to waste your effort. You start to value your days. You want to build something with your life that makes that pain worth it. You can't control what happened. You may not have chosen the pain, but you can choose what comes next. You can use that energy to become someone who creates change, someone who lifts others, someone who doesn't shrink in the face of adversity. And it starts with how you show up every day. When you wake up with something to prove, something to fight for, something to heal through, it changes how you move. You don't hit snooze. You don't coast. You don't take your days for granted. You move with purpose. You act with urgency. You see every task as a step towards something greater. That mindset turns pain into power. It's easy to let the past define you, but you don't have to be the person who was hurt. You can be the person who rebuilt themselves. You can be the one who turned pain into purpose. But that only happens when you decide that your mission matters more than your memory of the pain. And that mission needs to be personal. It needs to come from a deep place. It's not about impressing others. It's not about proving someone wrong. It's about becoming someone you respect, someone you're proud to be. That kind of mission doesn't fade when motivation fades. It stays with you. It pulls you forward, even when things get difficult, because you know why you're doing it. You have to give your pain a job. Otherwise, it will sit inside you and rot. Give it a role. Let it power your work ethic. Let it remind you of who you don't want to be. Let it drive your effort, your discipline, your consistency. Every time it shows up, don't run. Use it. Let it remind you that you have unfinished business, that you have something to build, that you're not done yet. You're going to have days when it feels heavy, days when the past comes back, days when the weight of what you've been through slows you down. That's normal. But those are the days you have to move even more, because progress is what keeps pain from turning into bitterness. When you're building something, pain has a place. It becomes fuel, not a weight. But when you stay still, it becomes poison. Use your pain to create discipline. Use it to build better habits. Use it to stay focused when distractions try to pull you away. Use it to remind yourself that every minute counts. People who've been through something real have a different level of urgency. They don't wait for perfect timing. They get to work now. They take the pain and turn it into consistent, focused action. You have to stop asking why it happened and start asking what you're going to do with it. You don't need closure to take the next step. You need clarity. Clarity about who you want to become. Clarity about the values you want to live by. Clarity about the standard you want to set. That's where your power is. Not in the pain itself, but in what you build from it. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because they refused to stay broken. They got there because they worked on themselves while still hurting. They showed up even when they were exhausted inside. And they built strength that couldn't be taken away. That strength is available to you too, but only if you stop hiding from your pain and start using it. What does using your pain look like? It looks like showing up to your responsibilities with energy. It looks like setting goals and sticking to them, even when the feeling fades. It looks like speaking your truth when it's easier to stay quiet. It looks like giving your time to something that matters, instead of wasting it on things that drain you. It looks like building a life that makes you feel proud every single day. Pain wants to be felt, but more than that, it wants to be turned into something. If you leave it alone, it will eat at you. But if you face it, if you work through it, you can make it the foundation of your mission. A mission to grow, a mission to lead, a mission to be someone who inspires others, who are still in the middle of their own pain. This world doesn't need more people who hide what they've been through. It needs people who've been through the fire and came out stronger, people who didn't let the pain define them, but used it to sharpen their vision and strengthen their will. That can be you, but you have to choose it. You have to wake up and decide that your life is bigger than your pain, that your future matters more than your past, that the way you respond will become your legacy. You don't need to be perfect to move forward. You just need to be honest. Honest about what hurt you. Honest about what you want. Honest about what it's going to take. And then commit. Commit to showing up every day with your mission in front of you and your pain behind you, pushing you forward instead of pulling you down. So take everything that once made you feel small and use it to become powerful. Take everything that tried to break you and use it to build the most focused, disciplined version of you the world has ever seen. That's how you take control. That's how you heal. That's how you win. Use your pain, or it will use you. Turn it into your fuel, and don't waste another day. Number 5. Face your fears and finally take full control. Fear controls more lives than failure ever could. It whispers in your ear. It makes you doubt yourself. It convinces you to stay quiet, stay still, stay small. And before long, it becomes normal. But the truth is, fear is not there to protect you. It's there to test you. And the moment you face it, that's the moment you begin to take control of your life. Fear doesn't need to be loud to be dangerous. Sometimes it's subtle. It shows up in hesitation. It shows up in delay. It shows up when you talk yourself out of something you know you should do. That job you didn't apply for. That conversation you avoided. That risk you talked yourself out of. Not because you couldn't, but because you were afraid. You can't grow if you're hiding. You can't win if you're stuck behind fear. If you want to own your life, you have to step through the fear, not around it, not under it, through it. And you have to do it without waiting for the fear to disappear, because it won't. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. Courage means you do it anyway. The first step is honesty. Be honest about what scares you, not what you tell people, not what sounds impressive, but what actually stops you from acting. Maybe it's the fear of failure. Maybe it's the fear of judgment. Maybe it's the fear of starting over. Whatever it is, bring it into the light. Because when fear stays in the dark, it grows. When you face it, it weakens. You don't need to tackle everything at once. Start with one fear. One thing you've been avoiding. One action you've delayed. Do it. No matter how small it seems, it matters. Because every time you act in the face of fear, you prove to yourself that you're in charge. Not your doubts, not your insecurities. You are not your fear. Fear is just a feeling, and feelings are not facts. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel uncertain and still make the call. You can feel uncomfortable and still do the work. Waiting to feel fearless is just another excuse to avoid responsibility. You don't become fearless first. You act first, and then fear begins to lose its grip. Most people think control means having all the answers. But real control comes from taking responsibility for your direction, even when things feel unknown. That kind of control doesn't show up overnight. It shows up after you've done the hard thing enough times that it becomes who you are. Every fear you face adds a brick to your foundation. You become stronger not by avoiding fear, but by walking into it, learning from it, and rising through it. Your greatest power lives behind the things you're most afraid to face. And if you never confront them, you never discover what you're really made of. Take a look at the areas of your life that feel out of control. Your time, your focus, your discipline, your decisions. Ask yourself, what fear is keeping me from changing this? And then make it your mission to act. Because until you take action, fear still wins. There's a reason most people live below their potential. It's not a lack of talent, it's fear. Fear of being different. Fear of being criticized. Fear of failing publicly. But here's what they miss. Fear is temporary. Regret is permanent. Regret stays with you. Regret reminds you every day of what could have been. And there's only one way to avoid it. By facing the fear today before it steals another year from you. You don't need to conquer the whole mountain. You just need to take the next step. That's how control is built. Step by step. One decision at a time. One uncomfortable choice at a time. And the more you do that, the less fear controls you and the more you control your future. Start setting standards that fear can't break. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Especially when it scares you. If you say you're committed to growth, prove it by doing the things that challenge your confidence. The strongest people you know, they weren't born confident. They were just consistent. They acted while afraid. They built confidence through action, not the other way around. Fear feeds on your silence. So speak your goals out loud. Make them real. Tell yourself who you're becoming. Remind yourself every day that you're not waiting for things to get easier. You're getting stronger. You're not hoping fear will go away. You're getting bolder. That mindset gives you leverage over fear. That mindset gives you control. Nobody takes full control of their life by staying comfortable. Control doesn't live in comfort. It lives in commitment. The commitment to grow when it's hard. The commitment to act when it's scary. The commitment to lead yourself when nobody else is pushing you. That's what changes your life. And remember this, you don't have to erase all fear to build something great. You just have to decide that your mission matters more. When you believe in the life you're building, when you know what's at stake, fear loses power. It may still whisper, but it won't stop you. Face the fear of being misunderstood. Face the fear of being imperfect. Face the fear of starting late, of starting over, of not having it all figured out. Because what matters more than any of that is that you move, that you stop waiting, that you take full control. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, this isn't about being fearless. It's about being faithful to your purpose, to your goals, to the standard you set. It's about showing up with strength, even when fear tries to convince you you're not ready. The truth is, fear will always find a reason to hold you back, but it's your responsibility to rise above it, not by waiting for a sign, but by becoming the kind of person who doesn't need one. Your future depends on what you do with fear today. Will you let it guide your choices? Or will you take the pen back and write your own story? Because that's what control really is. It's writing your story, your way, even when your hands are shaking. You've come too far to let fear lead your life. There's more in you, but you'll never know that unless you step into the unknown. So face the fear, make the call, show up early, speak with strength, act with purpose. And when fear shows up again tomorrow, face it again, because that's how you take full control, one brave decision at a time. Number 6. Decide now to live with purpose, not regret. There comes a time when you have to stop delaying your life. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now you have to decide, clearly and firmly, to live with purpose instead of carrying the heavy burden of regret. Because time does not pause while you think about it. Life moves. Every second you spend in hesitation is a second you could have used to build something real. Regret isn't loud at first. It starts as a whisper, a thought in the back of your mind. You feel it when you say no to something that matters. You feel it when you know deep down that you could have done more, could have been more, could have acted with more courage. And when you ignore that long enough, it turns into a pattern. A life of settling. A life of unfinished ideas. A life of looking back instead of moving forward. Purpose doesn't come from waiting. It comes from making a clear choice to rise above excuses and live with intention. You have to want it. You have to want something more than comfort, more than convenience, more than just making it through the day. And that's a decision no one can make for you. Living with purpose means every day counts. It means you don't just wake up and drift. You wake up and decide. Decide who you want to become. Decide what kind of impact you want to have. Decide that your time is too valuable to be wasted on things that don't grow you. People say they'll get serious when the time feels right. But the truth is, the perfect moment never comes. The calendar will never clear itself. The path will never be without challenges. That's why the decision has to come first. When you decide that regret is not welcome in your life, you stop postponing your progress. You stop chasing things that drain you. You start building a life that matters. Ask yourself, what will I look back on in 10 years? Will I be proud of how I spent my time? Will I be proud of how I showed up when life tested me? Or will I wish I had acted sooner, tried harder, pushed further? Purpose doesn't mean every day is easy. It means every day has meaning. You stop waiting to feel motivated and start moving, because your life deserves better than being lived halfway. You stop doing things just to get by and start doing things that push you closer to your highest potential. And here's the hard truth. Living without purpose always leads to regret. Not immediately, but eventually. Because when you live without purpose, you live passively. You follow instead of lead. You react instead of plan. You waste time and energy on things that don't align with your values. And before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle that looks like life, but feels like emptiness. Regret is what happens when you let fear make your decisions. Purpose is what happens when you lead your life with courage. Even if you don't have all the answers, even if you feel uncertain, even if the road looks unclear, take the step. Decide that from this moment forward, you will live with intention, with standards, with direction. You don't need to know the final destination to start. You need clarity on what matters to you, what drives you, what you refuse to waste another day. Ignoring that clarity comes when you get quiet with yourself and ask the hard questions. Who am I becoming? What am I chasing? What am I allowing into my life that does not serve me? Purpose brings clarity. It gives you something to wake up for, something to protect, something to fight for. It's not always glamorous. It's not always obvious, but it's always powerful. When you live with purpose, even the hard days feel worth it. Even the failures feel like progress. Even the slow seasons feel like preparation. You've been given this life, not by chance, but by design. You were born with something to offer, something only you can bring to the world, but it doesn't get expressed through comfort. It gets revealed through action, through discipline, through showing up with conviction, even when no one's watching. That's what separates those who live with pride from those who live with regret. Too many people live like they have forever, like they can start tomorrow, like there's always more time, and one day they wake up and realize they were wrong. Don't be that person. Be the one who chooses now. Be the one who takes control while there's still time to change. You don't need a title or permission to start living on purpose. You need resolve. You need to mean it. You need to stop negotiating with your potential and start acting like your life is worth more than just existing. That means saying no to distractions, saying no to excuses, saying no to anything that doesn't align with the future you want to build. Because living on purpose is not just about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. And that means cutting out what doesn't serve you. Purpose is a decision followed by a pattern of discipline. It's a way of thinking, a way of living. It shows up in how you treat your body, how you invest your time, how you respond when things don't go your way. Purpose shows up in the little things, and the little things shape your life. So ask yourself, what are you building? What are you chasing? What are you willing to suffer for, sacrifice for, grow for? That's where purpose begins. In the things that mean enough to you, that you're willing to give your best every single day. And when you live like that, when you decide that you're no longer okay with average, something shifts. You stop tolerating your own excuses. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop living for approval, because you know who you are. You know what you want. You know what your life stands for. You can't go back and change the time you lost. But you can stop wasting time from this moment on. You can take what you've learned, take what you've been through, and turn it into a life of direction, a life of purpose, a life that matters. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being committed. Committed to something bigger than comfort. Committed to living a life that leaves no room for what if. A life that brings peace, because you know you gave everything you had to become everything you could. Number 7. Get serious about building the life you deserve. If you want to live the life you deserve, you have to get serious about it. Building the life you want isn't something that happens by chance. It's something you have to plan, work for, and be relentless about. This is not the time to be casual. This is not the time to keep making excuses. This is the time to step up and take full ownership of your future. Your life is in your hands. The circumstances you're in right now are a result of decisions you made in the past. But here's the thing. Your future doesn't have to look like your past. You can decide today to get serious about building the life you deserve. It's about taking responsibility, taking action, and not waiting for someone else to hand you the life you want. When you decide to get serious about your future, everything changes. You stop drifting. You stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect opportunity. You realize that the life you deserve is already within your reach, but it requires you to put in the work. It requires you to commit to your growth and take consistent steps towards your goals, no matter how small they seem. The first step in getting serious is acknowledging that success is a choice. It's a decision to show up every day, to give your best, and to stay disciplined when everything around you seems to be falling apart. It's deciding that your dreams are worth more than any temporary discomfort or distraction. The life you deserve won't just appear. You have to create it. Building the life you deserve starts with clarity. You need to know what you want. You need to know what your goals are. Not just vague dreams, but clear, actionable, specific goals. What does your ideal life look like? Where do you want to be in the next year, 5 years, or 10 years? You have to have a vision. Without vision, there is no direction. And without direction, you'll wander aimlessly, never reaching the life you know you're capable of. Once you have that vision, it's time to break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Building the life you deserve is not an overnight process. It's a long-term commitment. But every day, every action you take moves you closer to that vision. It's the daily habits, the choices you make, the effort you put in each day that builds momentum. And over time, that momentum will turn into progress, and that progress will turn into results. Getting serious means holding yourself accountable. It means no more excuses, no more procrastination, no more "I'll do it tomorrow." It's about making your goals a priority and doing the work even when you don't feel like it. You will face challenges. You will face setbacks. But the key is to keep going, to push through, to find a way no matter what. It's easy to get distracted by the things that don't matter, to get caught up in the noise of daily life, or to compare yourself to others. But when you get serious about your life, you stop paying attention to the distractions. You stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. You focus on what you're doing. You focus on your growth, your vision, and your actions. There is no substitute for hard work. There's no shortcut to success. You can't skip the process. But here's the good news. The harder you work, the more you grow. The more you commit, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the more prepared you become to handle the challenges that come your way. Every setback is a lesson. Every failure is an opportunity to grow. When you get serious about your future, you see every obstacle as a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Building the life you deserve also means investing in yourself. It means committing to your personal growth, to learning new skills, to expanding your mindset. The life you deserve will not come from staying in your comfort zone. It will not come from playing it safe. It will come from pushing yourself to learn, to grow, to step into new challenges and take on bigger risks. You can't build the life you want if you're not willing to stretch and improve yourself every single day. Another crucial part of getting serious about building the life you deserve is surrounding yourself with the right people. Your environment plays a massive role in your success. If you want to grow, if you want to succeed, you have to be around people who encourage you, challenge you, and hold you to a higher standard. Get rid of the negativity, the people who drain you, the people who don't believe in your potential. They will only hold you back. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who push you to be better, and who believe in your vision as much as you do. In addition to surrounding yourself with the right people, you have to make sure your environment supports your success. The people you spend time with, the places you go, the things you consume, these all affect the life you're building. Your habits, your mindset, and your productivity are shaped by your surroundings. If you want to create the life you deserve, you have to design your environment to help you succeed. Getting serious also means setting boundaries. It means saying no to the things that don't serve you, and saying yes to the things that move you closer to your goals. It means protecting your time, your energy, and your focus. Don't let distractions or people take away from your dreams. You have one life, and it's up to you to decide how to spend it. It's easy to get caught up in the grind and forget why you're doing it. But building the life you deserve is about more than just hard work. It's about purpose. It's about knowing that every action you take is moving you towards something greater. It's about finding meaning in the work you do and the decisions you make. When you live with purpose, you don't just work hard for the sake of working hard. You work hard because it's part of your mission. And that mission, that purpose, will keep you going when the going gets tough. When you get serious about building the life you deserve, you stop accepting mediocrity. You stop settling for less. You stop thinking that it's good enough. You start demanding more from yourself, your time, and your life. You set high standards and you hold yourself accountable to those standards. No more half-hearted attempts. No more trying. You either do it or you don't. And if you're serious, you do it every single time. Building the life you deserve is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about taking action, staying focused, and never giving up. It's about learning, growing, and becoming the person you need to be in order to achieve the things you desire. The life you deserve is waiting for you, but it won't come to you without effort. You have to get serious. You have to decide that you're ready to build it. One decision, one action, and one step at a time.
Number 8. Eliminate weak habits that waste your entire life. You will never rise to your highest potential if you keep feeding weak habits. These habits, though often small and seemingly insignificant, pile up and begin to control your life. Each time you indulge in something that wastes your time, energy, or focus, you're slowly giving away the very life you deserve. And here's the truth. Your future is shaped by the habits you create today. If you allow weak habits to control you, you will find yourself stuck in mediocrity, constantly wondering why you haven't achieved the things you know you are capable of. Habits are powerful. They define who you are and who you will become. The habits you develop each day either move you closer to the life you deserve or pull you further away from it. So the question is, what habits are you currently nurturing? What are the habits that are silently sabotaging your growth, your success, and your happiness? Weak habits are the ones that keep you distracted, that hold you back from reaching your true potential. These are the habits that make you procrastinate, that encourage you to settle for comfort, and that steal your time and energy. It could be the habit of scrolling endlessly on social media, watching TV instead of working on your goals, or putting off your responsibilities because it's easier to do nothing. They might feel good in the moment, but in the long run, they are slowly killing your dreams. If you want to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and achievement, you must eliminate these weak habits. It's not enough to simply want a better life. You have to be willing to change your behaviors. You have to be willing to remove the things that are holding you back. Every moment you spend doing something that doesn't serve your growth is a moment wasted. Every minute spent in a weak habit
is a minute you'll never get back. It's time to be brutally honest with yourself. Look at your life and ask yourself, what am I doing every day that doesn't move me closer to my goals? The answer might not be easy to face, but it's necessary to make lasting change. You need to identify the weak habits that have crept into your routine. Maybe it's the habit of oversleeping, or maybe it's the habit of constantly putting off difficult tasks. Whatever they are, you must face them and take responsibility for them. You are the one who allowed them to grow in your life, and only you can remove them. One of the most dangerous weak habits is procrastination. The longer you put things off, the harder they become. Procrastination feeds on your doubts and fears. It whispers there's always tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. It convinces you that it's okay to wait, that it's okay to push things off just a little longer, but if you want to build the life you deserve, you have to take action now. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The time to act is now. Another weak habit is the habit of comparison. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. We all do it. We see someone else's success and feel like we're not doing enough. But comparison will only hold you back. It distracts you from your own path, makes you second-guess your own decisions, and feeds into self-doubt. The only person you need to compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Focus on your own journey, your own growth, and your own progress. Weak habits are also formed when you choose comfort over challenge. It's easy to fall into routines that are familiar and safe, but comfort is the enemy of growth. If you keep choosing what's easy, you will never push yourself to achieve more. Growth requires discomfort. It requires you to face challenges and stretch beyond what you thought was possible. If you're not willing to get uncomfortable, you will stay exactly where you are, stuck, unfulfilled, and far from the life you deserve. Another habit that destroys progress is negative self-talk. The words you say to yourself shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that it's too late for you, then that will become your truth. Negative self-talk is a weak habit that reinforces fear and insecurity. You must stop these destructive thoughts the moment they appear. Replace them with thoughts that empower you. Remind yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy of success, and that you have everything you need to achieve your goals. Weak habits also include ignoring your health. It's easy to take your body for granted. It's easy to skip exercise, eat unhealthy food, or stay up too late. But your health is your greatest asset. Without it, nothing else matters. If you want to build a successful, fulfilling life, you need to take care of your body. This means making time for exercise, eating nutritious foods, getting enough sleep, and managing stress. A healthy body is the foundation for a healthy life. The longer you hold on to weak habits, the more difficult it becomes to break free from them. These habits create patterns in your life that are hard to undo. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means you have to be intentional. You have to make a conscious decision to change. Every day is an opportunity to eliminate one more weak habit, to replace it with a stronger, more empowering one. It's not about being perfect, it's about progress. It's about making small changes each day that add up to a life of purpose and success. Start by identifying your weak habits. What are the things you do every day that don't serve your goals or your well-being? Write them down. Be honest with yourself. Then for each habit, create a plan to replace it with something stronger. If you tend to procrastinate, set a timer for 25 minutes and work without interruption. If you struggle with negative self-talk, start a daily practice of affirmations and gratitude. If you're not taking care of your body, commit to exercising for 30 minutes every day, eating healthier foods, and getting enough sleep. The key is consistency. You won't change overnight, but if you keep showing up and making the right choices, you will start to see results. The more you eliminate weak habits, the more you create space for strong, empowering habits that will propel you toward your goals. You have the power to eliminate the weak habits that have been holding you back. You have the power to change your future by changing the actions you take today. Your time is too precious to waste on things that don't serve you. Every moment counts. Every decision matters. Make the decision to let go of the habits that are wasting your life. Start today and build the future you deserve. Number 9. Take bold steps toward the future you want. To reach the future you want, you must take bold steps. It's not enough to just dream about your goals or hope that things will fall into place. You have to take action. And not just any action, bold action. The future you want won't arrive through timid decisions or hesitant movements. It will come through courage, through willingness to step into the unknown, and through a commitment to do what others might hesitate to do. Most people wait for the right moment. They wait for the perfect circumstances or for things to align perfectly before they take action. But here's the truth. The right moment never comes. The perfect circumstances are a myth. You can't wait for everything to be just right, because that moment may never arrive. Boldness doesn't wait for perfection. It moves forward despite imperfection. It moves forward in the face of uncertainty. If you wait for things to be ideal, you'll waste your entire life waiting. Taking bold steps means embracing the unknown. It means stepping outside your comfort zone and being willing to face fear and uncertainty. Every time you choose comfort over courage, you delay the future you want. Boldness doesn't come from knowing exactly what's going to happen. It comes from trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your ability to figure things out. Trust that even if you make mistakes, you will learn and grow. Boldness is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to act in spite of it. There will be times when doubt creeps in, when you question your ability to succeed, when the obstacles ahead seem too great. But these are the moments when boldness matters most. It's easy to act when everything is going well, when the path ahead is clear, but it's in the moments of uncertainty, in the moments when you feel unsure, that boldness becomes your greatest ally. It is at these moments that you have to take the next step anyway. Taking bold steps also means deciding to stop playing small. Too many people go through life playing it safe. They settle for what's comfortable, what's familiar. They hold back because they fear failure, rejection, or criticism. But when you take bold steps toward your future, you stop playing small. You stop limiting yourself. You stop saying I can't and start saying I will. You stop hiding your potential and start showing up in your full capacity. The future you want requires you to break free from the self-imposed limitations you've placed on yourself. Every bold step you take brings you closer to the future you desire. It's not about making giant leaps every day. It's about making consistent, intentional moves that push you forward. Bold steps don't have to be huge. Sometimes a bold step is simply making a decision that shifts the direction of your life. It's choosing to start that business, to make that investment, to ask for that promotion. Sometimes boldness is in the small decisions that collectively shape your future. Boldness also requires you to let go of the fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. It's not the end of the road. It's a learning opportunity. Too many people stop themselves from moving forward because they're afraid of making mistakes. They fear they'll fall short or be judged. But failure doesn't define you. How you respond to it does. Taking bold steps means not letting fear of failure keep you from moving forward. It means understanding that every failure is an opportunity to learn, to improve, and to get one step closer to success. Another key to taking bold steps is setting clear intentions. Bold actions don't happen by accident. They are the result of deliberate choices, clear goals, and focused intentions. If you don't know where you're headed, it's easy to get distracted or veer off course. Boldness is intentional. It is the willingness to make decisions that align with your vision of the future. It is having a clear understanding of what you want, and then taking the necessary steps to bring it into reality. Part of taking bold steps is also overcoming the fear of judgment. People will always have opinions. Some will support your actions, and some will criticize them. The opinions of others can be loud, but they should never be louder than your own belief in yourself. Boldness requires you to drown out the noise of others and listen to your inner voice. It requires you to trust that the path you're on is the right one for you, regardless of what others think. When you allow others' opinions to dictate your actions, you lose control of your future. But when you take bold steps, you take ownership of your life and your decisions. In order to take bold steps, you must be willing to embrace change. Boldness is often accompanied by change.
change in your circumstances, your mindset, your habits, or your environment. And change is uncomfortable. It's natural to resist change because it takes us out of what we know. But the future you want is built on change. It's built on your ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow. You can't continue doing the same things and expect a different result. If you want something new, you have to be willing to change. Bold steps are often the catalyst for the change you need to move forward. Taking bold steps doesn't mean acting without thought or preparation. It means being calculated in your approach, understanding the risks, and moving forward anyway. Boldness is about calculated risk-taking. It's about weighing the potential rewards against the challenges, making an informed decision, and then taking the leap. There will be risks, but the greatest risk is not taking any at all. If you don't take risks, you will never experience the growth and rewards that come with bold action. Finally, bold steps require persistence. You won't always see immediate results. There will be setbacks. There will be times when you feel like giving up. But persistence is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up halfway. Boldness is not just about taking the first step. It's about continuing to take steps, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's about staying committed, staying focused, and trusting that your efforts will pay off in the long run. The future you want is waiting for you, but it won't come to you if you stay in your comfort zone. It won't come if you keep waiting for the perfect time or perfect conditions. If you want to live a life of fulfillment and success, you must take bold steps. You must take action even when you're afraid. You must trust yourself, trust the process, and keep moving forward. No matter how many obstacles you face, the future you desire is within your reach, but it requires boldness to get there. So take that step, move forward with courage. The life you want is just one bold decision away.
Number 10. Make every action count towards something that matters. Every day you live is an opportunity to shape your future. Your actions, no matter how small, are either bringing you closer to your goals or pulling you further from them. This is why it's essential to make every action count. You don't have the luxury of time to waste. Every moment you spend without a clear purpose is a moment that could have been spent building the life you truly desire. When you focus on actions that matter, you begin to see real progress, and you start to see how the life you want is being built piece by piece. Making every action count begins with clarity. You must be clear on what truly matters to you. Too often, people move through life reacting to situations instead of proactively choosing where they want to go. It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind, ticking off tasks that don't lead to anything meaningful. But when you take the time to understand your purpose, to define your goals, and to prioritize what really matters, every action becomes intentional. No longer are you just going through the motions. You're moving with purpose, knowing that each action brings you closer to something bigger. Your actions must align with your goals. If you're taking steps that don't serve your long-term vision, you're wasting time. Every decision you make should reflect your values, your mission, and the person you want to become. It's easy to get distracted by things that don't move you forward, but it's in your best interest to be intentional. Each moment you choose to take an action that doesn't align with your goals is an opportunity lost. You are in control of your time. You are in control of your actions. What are you doing with them? Consistency is key when making every action count. It's not enough to take action once in a while or when you feel inspired. True progress comes from doing the right things consistently. It's about the small daily actions that build momentum. Each day, ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my dreams? These consistent actions compound over time. A small step today can lead to massive results in the future. But if you let these small opportunities slip by, you'll find yourself years from now, wondering why you didn't achieve what you set out to do. The reason many people don't make every action count is because they lack discipline. It's easy to get distracted by immediate pleasures, by things that feel good in the moment, but don't serve your long-term goals. Maybe it's scrolling through social media for hours, watching TV when you know you should be working, or putting off that difficult task because it's uncomfortable. These are the actions that lead to regret. You're not making them count. Instead of filling your time with distractions,
Fill it with actions that align with your vision of success. Every minute you waste is a minute that could have been used to make progress toward the life you want. But making every action count doesn't mean that every action has to be monumental. You don't have to do something massive every day to make a difference. Making every action count is about being purposeful. No matter how big or small the task, it's about choosing to do things with intention. If your goal is to improve your health, every action counts. Whether it's choosing to eat healthier, exercising for just a few minutes, or drinking more water. If your goal is to grow your business, every action counts. Whether it's making a single phone call, reading a chapter in a business book, or writing an email, every step matters, and each one builds upon the other. Making every action count also means letting go of perfectionism. Often people hold back because they fear that their actions won't be good enough, or that they'll make a mistake. But perfectionism is a trap. It keeps you from taking any action at all, because you're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect result. The truth is, there is no perfect action. The only way to make progress is by taking imperfect action. Mistakes will happen, and that's okay. Each mistake is a lesson that will bring you closer to success. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to act. Another important factor in making every action count is accountability. It's too easy to let ourselves off the hook when we don't have someone holding us to a higher standard. Having accountability, whether from a mentor, a coach, or even a friend, pushes you to follow through on your commitments. When you're accountable to someone else, your actions carry more weight. You're less likely to waste time or get distracted. Accountability also helps you stay focused on what truly matters, because someone else is reminding you of your goals. Without accountability, it's easy to slip into bad habits or procrastinate. Making every action count also involves saying no. You can't do everything, and you certainly can't do everything well. If you say yes to everything, you'll end up stretched too thin and losing sight of your most important goals. Saying no is an act of strength, not weakness. It's about protecting your time and your energy so that you can focus on the actions that will lead to your success. Learn to say no to things that don't align with your goals. Saying no is not about being selfish, it's about being purposeful with your time. When you say yes to everything, you're saying no to the things that truly matter. Furthermore, making every action count requires focus. You can't afford to scatter your energy across a million things. To make progress, you must focus on the actions that are going to move the needle. This means eliminating distractions. Whether it's turning off your phone notifications, setting a designated time for focused work, or creating a clear plan for each day, focus is the key to making each action count. Focus is what keeps you from getting sidetracked by things that don't serve your purpose. Focus allows you to take deliberate action, ensuring that every effort you make contributes to the bigger picture. It's also important to measure your progress. When you track your actions, you can see how much you've achieved, and you can adjust your strategy if needed. Tracking helps you stay motivated, as it shows you the tangible results of your efforts. Without tracking, it's easy to lose sight of how far you've come and how much you've accomplished. Measuring progress gives you the clarity you need to keep moving forward with confidence. Finally, making every action count means living with intention. Don't leave your life to chance. Don't let the days pass by without purpose. Be deliberate about your choices. Be mindful of how you spend your time. Each action should be a step toward creating the life you desire. Ask yourself every day, is this action helping me build the future I want? If the answer is no, change course. The power is in your hands. You have the ability to make every action count. Every moment you choose to take meaningful action moves you closer to the life you deserve. Start today. Don't wait. Make every action count.